Hello, everybody, and welcome back to IndieQuest, a celebration of the indie and obscure. We're back with one of our special IQ OST episodes. Think of it as an indie video game music listening party with your best buds. I have a couple of buds with me. Steve, how are you doing?
Doing wonderful. I just went on a nice walk, had myself a Chipotle burrito. Now I've got the IndieQuest approved beverage, iced Americano in hand. And yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I always feel bad saying this, but like OST episodes might be my favorite episodes that we do, even though we don't explicitly talk about and bring games. So I am pumped. The dramatic tension of knowing what other people brought is just too good.
It is fun. I'm always excited to see what songs you guys bring. More so than, I guess I get some excitement out of showing you guys what I brought and like seeing your faces like, oh yeah, I remember that or whatever. But it's always exciting to be like, I wonder what those guys brought this time. It's just always a fun little game. I guess it's kind of like our normal episodes too, but it's something different with the OSTs.
And those dulcet tones were Seth, also known as Captain Drachma. I hear you're a little under the weather. You feeling all right?
Yeah. It has been a rough winter in my house, and I think part of it is because, specifically for me, I used to travel a lot for my job, and now I sit in my house almost always, and my kids are in school and coming home, bringing whatever funk is at the school that day. My wife works at a bank, and she's bringing that home, right? So I'm just immunocompromised just because I sit in my office for 18 hours a day. So, yeah.
No exposure to the outside world.
Right.
Well, hopefully they're at least getting sick too.
They have, yes. Yeah, they deserve it. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Someone had to say.
You're pretty much like that classic 2000s movie, Bubble Boy. You guys ever seen Bubble Boy? I mean, yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's how everybody has been since 2020, basically. We're all bubble boys.
Yeah, right? Pretty much.
Very true.
All right, well, who's like the most excited? Who wants to throw their song in the ring first here?
Seth.
Okay. I'll throw my song.
All right.
And also,
let's start listening to some music. I'm excited.
I just so happen to be at the top of our list, so that way I can keep track of exactly where we're at here. But yes, I'm just going to go first randomly for sure. So, my loose theme today is I'm bringing some. Well, I was going to say lower energy, but both of them are bangers in their own way. But loosely, they both made me feel something. And I know, for the most part, most of the songs that we bring, we feel a certain way about. But I mean, like, in-game. They work really well in the scenes that they take place in within their respective games. So, to kind of paint the picture, and I know, Josh, you have dabbled. I know, Steve, you have gone all the way through. And I have talked about this game at length, for sure. But the first song that I brought today is none other than Heart to Heart from Beacon Pines. So let's give it a listen. right. That was Heart to Heart from Beacon Pines. I have spoken, like I said, at length about that game and that song specifically, saying that I was going to force all of the listeners to listen to it eventually. So, what did you guys think of Heart to Heart?
It's amazing, incredible. No, I loved how it builds. It's like it's kind of has like 3 tiers to it. I feel like it's like the beginning with the piano, then you get the synthy, and then you get that big like erupture, at the end with the great like orchestration, kind of surrounds you with sound at the end, which is really nice.
Yeah. It's a shame that's, I mean, there might be other versions of it online and YouTube isn't the only place, but the video has like 900 views. It's like, are you kidding me? If we subtract the 300 of them that are Seth, only 600 people have listened to this song.
Yeah,
That's
I know. I mean,
tragedy.
the same goes for the full OST by Matt Meyer. I think at last check there was like 10,000 views. I'm sure that's only going to go up, right, as more people discover. But that song is my personal favorite. But there are so many good ones. If anyone is interested in how that sounded and wants to hear more, just look up Welcome to Beacon Pines is another one that's really, really good. Like the whole soundtrack is a banger. So, but I don't want to belabor the point. I love that game. Let's move on to Josh. What did you bring for us today?
So I didn't have too much of a theme. So what I ended up doing is I asked my partner, I was like, hey, we're doing an OST episodes. What indie game do you like? And what's a song from an indie game that you could suggest us listen to? And they brought me a song from the Cozy Grove OST called Dancing Force Bears. And Cozy Grove is very much like it's Animal Crossing light, but it still is a very deep game and it has a really interesting and cool art style. I've seen them play this game a lot, I'll say, and I've heard this song a lot. So the loose theme for both of my tracks are actually just the forest. So each of the songs today that I brought are going to evoke the forest in a different way. So this one's the cozy, chill version of the forest. So let's go ahead and kick back and listen to Dancing Forest Bears from the Cozy Grove OST. Isn't that sweet? What do you guys think?
I thought it was really quite good. It was very chill. I've never played the game before, so I don't have any context for it, but like, yeah, I can see it being a forest track. It's just comfy vibes. It's laying on your back in the sun-dappled leaves, just pondering your existence.
Yeah, it's sitting around a campfire with your pals that you went camping with, right? And just chilling after a nice long day of adventure, right? That's really where it took me.
I like that it does like a switch up halfway through too. Like both of them are. It's just two very cozy tracks. It's not like, suddenly it goes full or anything, but it's, it was a nice little twist.
Yeah, I like hearing this soundtrack in the background of things, because it's one of those games that's on a lot, because it is like Animal Crossing. You got to manage your town, you got to do things for the townspeople in the town and things like that. So just imagine that cozy atmosphere and then that playing in the background while you like do some farming or something. I'm not 100% sure all what you do in there, but yeah, that's the vibes. But enough about that song. Steve, I know you brought us a banger. What you got for us?
Yeah, so I also went to my partner and I said, "Hey, we're doing an OST episode. What should we choose?" And then she said, "I'm not going to do your homework for you. Figure it out yourself." So I brought a song from a game that I like. I wanted to pick something from the soundtrack. I was kind of destined to pick something from the soundtrack because it's a very music-focused game. And I picked a song from the Melatonin soundtrack. This one in particular is Followers. So if you've ever played Melatonin, it is, or if you've never played it, it's very Rhythm Heaven Fever, and every level is sort of like music rhythm timed to sort of this like abstract, dreamlike stage that follows a certain theme. So some of them are like emotional, so it's like stress or love, and some of them are like literal action based, like shopping. And in this case, this is an episode themed around social media and gaining followers on social media. You can probably tell from the name Melatonin that the game is a very, lo-fi hip-hop game to play to type of vibe. So again, this is the song Followers off that soundtrack by Half Asleep Games. All right, fellas. How are we feeling about that one? How are we liking it?
That was a very interesting song, and one of my favorite things about it is that it involves a bunch of like common household items or items that we use every day, and it just creates this jiving beat. Like it's so unique.
Yeah, I like it a lot. You can hear like glass tinking and I don't know, just various phone vibration at different pitch levels and things like that. It's really cool. It honestly reminds me of, I don't think you guys will get the reference, but it really feels like a Steven Universe Vibes song, which I'm a big fan of that. It's just like you can kind of feel like the grooviness, and then you get the little bit of like 8-bit, buzz feel to it. It's very much ear tickly, I would say, this song. Like you can kind of like feel the things around you as you're listening to it. Which is cool.
It's very like poppy, like literal like sound pops. I like that. If you were to like count up the different instruments that are in that song, there's probably instruments and or just sounds.
Yes.
There's probably like 40 different things happening across various points.
Agreed. Yeah. It's very, very cool song. Very unique, and we were talking about it a little bit in the interim when we were actually listening to it, but I mentioned that Steve or anyone who has played Melatonin and listens to that OST must just be thinking about the game the entire time because it's so ingrained.
Yeah, you can very much hear, even without having played, sort of like the consistent gameplay rhythm to it and like where it picks up and slows down, but also once you've played it, it's like inescapably linked in your mind to those actions.
Yep.
Heck yeah. So that's my first song, but Drachma, buddy, I know you brought your own second song here.
So, my second song, while I know that you guys have listened to Heart to Heart before, I know for a fact that this song has made both of you emotional. But I'm not even going to belabor the point. My next song is Everything's All Right from To the Moon.
Short steps, deep breath, everything is alright. Chin up, I can't step into the spotlight. She said, I'm sad, somehow without any words. I just stood there, searching for an answer. When this world is no more, the moon is all we'll see. I'll ask you to fly away with me until the stars all fall down. They empty from the sky, but I don't mind. If you're with me, then everything's all right. Why do my words always lose their meaning? What I feel, what I say, there's such a rift between them. He said, I can't really seem to read you. I just stood there, never know what I should do. When this world is no more, the moon is all we'll see. I'll ask you to fly away with me until the stars all fall down. They empty from
So, I'm assuming you guys understand my loose theme now of songs that that fit in well and make you feel something, right?
Yes.
Anybody that hasn't played To the Moon, I hope that you listened to our episode, at least half of it, right up until the spoiler section. But go play that game, and then you'll understand why that song hits so hard. Like I'm not a fan of video game music that has vocals usually. But man, that song is something else.
Yeah, it's wild to think that
Yeah,
it
it's
came
like
from a game made in Game Maker or RPG
Yeah,
Maker
seriously.
or whatever. Like, yeah, obviously a great song. Very, very. I'm a big fan of To the Moon, and that song is part of the reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's memorable for what happens during the playing of the song, and yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. Like, go play it, go get to the end of the game, and then you'll be like, okay, I see why they brought this song. But the song in itself is beautiful too, so yeah, nice to listen to.
Yeah, excellent
Or-
pick. Also, not surprising that in an attempt to bring two emotional songs, both of your songs have a heavy emphasis on piano.
I know. It's well, piano I think is one of those instruments that can make people, like, it's very impactful on your emotions, right? Like so many notes on the piano. There's so many keys on there, right? So you can pretty much do whatever you want on that old thing, but and it kind of is leading up a little bit to an episode that will be coming soon. That's all I'll say, right? But Josh, what is your next song?
So, I was inspired. I saw the word forest, and I thought, I know a soundtrack that has a really good forest theme. And my next song, my combining thread here is pretty lame. I'm sorry, but the song does kick ass. So let's go ahead and listen to "Forest Melancholy" from the Lunistis soundtrack. So, as you guys can probably tell, there's like a theme between my two songs. the forest.
I mean, all right, I gotta say, I don't know if you hadn't told me that song was forest theme, that I would have pulled forest out of its DNA, but it doesn't really matter because the song goes pretty damn hard.
The subtitle of that song is melancholy, and I didn't feel very melancholy while bopping around to either. So it's a confusing title. It's a confusing title for an excellent
I couldn't stop moving.
But hey, whatever, you know.
Yeah, all the music in this game is pretty much similar to that style and structure. This one just stuck out to me the most. It was like I had the music down a little bit on the game. I was kind of vibing to it, but then like this song came on, I was like, I'm turning it up, and I turned it up, and I'm like jamming out. So like, yeah, it's a really cool looking stage too. It's like a forest, but it has like realistic flat shading on the walls, kind of like a Saturn game does, you know, sometimes, which is neat to see. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the sound... I mean, you would expect the soundtrack to be very high energy, but I didn't realize that it went quite that hard. It makes me want to get around to that game even sooner than I was already going to.
Yeah, it's a $5 little gem out there, so check it out if you guys haven't yet. Lunistus. But I know Steve has another song for us. What'd you bring?
It's true. I also brought 2 songs. Bold choice, I know, but I went with it. It's mine and I own it. We're closing out with our final song here, tying to Josh's theme, because I have a little bit of a foresty vibe to mine. It's more of a greenhouse vibe, because this is from the game Tinykin, and the song's name is Foliana Heights. Tinykin takes place entirely inside of a house, and each sort of 3D platformer stage is an individual room in the house. This is the music that plays during the stage that is the greenhouse, which is like the second or third level that you go to. It's kind of in the middle of the game. Very fun track, very playful. And yeah, this is Tinykin's Foliana Heights by Alexis Laugier? Laugier. Thanks, Alexis. I didn't mean to scare you guys. I promise in the game it's not very spooky, but it does have a little spooky energy to it. What'd you think?
It would go extremely well in a Halloween OST, even though I watched you play that game, and there's nothing really super spooky about it. It's very cartoony and upbeat and lighthearted, and man, the soundtrack just hits hard in a different direction. But it works. It works so well in the game, and just it's extremely listenable outside of it.
Yeah, I would say if you said, "Hey, close your eyes. What song? Like, what game is this from?" I'd probably be like, "Oh, Costume Quest."
That's
that's the vibe I'm
Yep.
getting. Yeah, something like that. Like, but I do. I mean, it has that like, woo, 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 like ghosty song sound in the background, all that. I just think it has. It's like nice chill, but I could see myself listening to this like while I'm working or something.
In the game, you're like hopping and grinding on leaves and avoiding like carnivorous plants and talking to praying mantises and stuff. So not really anything scary at all. That just means that this song is it's multifaceted, as they say.
It stands on its own.
Too true. And is that it? Is that it, fellas? Did we knock out an OST in possibly record time?
We had a couple beefy boys with a couple beefcake guests in a row. And sometimes you just gotta calm it down. It's too much hunk energy up in this IQ, and just bring everybody back down to earth. Listen to some smooth tunes.
Too dang true.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little shorty, McShorty. I mean, no one's complained so far. Bad joke. All right. You can find the show at IndieQuest Pod on Twitter. You can also send us great emails, even song recommendations. If you sent a song recommendation, we will put it in an OST.
It's true.
Maybe that'll get someone to send an email. That'd be interesting. Steve, where can people find you and your beautiful face on the interwebs?
Twitch and Twitter, both as Blinkoom. That's Blink OOM, M like melatonin. Also, I'm on other podcasts. You can go to polymedianetwork.com, check out Polykill and other shows. I'm there as well. How about you, Seth?
Yeah.
You can find me at Captain Drachma on Twitter, and of course in the Polymedia Discord. Best place on the internet. Where can they find you, Josh?
They can find me at Frantic Society, but I don't know why they would want to. Thank you guys for listening and hanging out with us. Catch you on the next episode.
Later, everybody.
Peace. Everything is all right. And everyone
exactly
is
how it
all
goes.
right.
Tell me that you're all right.